Hi everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make matching stamps for your dies. So I already made a video last week how you can make your very own stamps using foam. Well, this time I'm going to push it a little further, and actually what happened is that I had these dies and they come in a variety of sizes or shapes, and they cut pretty well, but I don't have any coordinated stamps, so I decided I was going to use the same technique and make myself some very unique stamps. So very simple. So if you want to check out this video I'm talking about, you will have it on the upper right corner, which is on the opposite side of my video, which is here, and just click on that and it will bring you to that video. So you'll know how I did this, and I've already of course did mine here. So very important, remember to do this in two pieces of foam so you have more squish. And I also use another piece of foam. This is a very thick one, but if you don't have this kind of foam, use 2 or 3 layers of fun foam in order to stamp. It's always better when you stamp to have a squishy part on top and a squishy part on the bottom. I think it helps to make your stamping a little nicer with more definition. So this is what I came up with. So the dies, of course, I had them, but I didn't have anything to stamp on them. So I said I'm going to make my own. And this is what I came up with. So this is a flower that I made with my dies, and I just stamped everything with the color I wanted. So this one is all pink. I've done this one in the same matter, but of course using a different stamp. And again, using my dies, that I just changed the center so it would look different. So there's also many ways of giving a little, a different look to your flowers. And this is another one. I didn't use all the big petals, only the small ones here. And again, I did a different petal and a different stamping. So you really can play with these and make as many as you want. So what I've done here is I cut my foam twice, as I always do. I scribbled on it, and then I glued them together. And then what you will need to do is cut another time with your dies into some paper in different sizes, matching, of course, your stamps. So I already did that, and I've normally put my flowers together to see which size I was going to use. And I'm going to decide to go with not the biggest one right now, but the medium size. And I put myself some little handles here. And now what I'm going to do is use maybe blue. I didn't do any blue yet, so I'm going to go for blue. So I've got one different design for each petal. So this is the biggest I have. This is the one just under. There you go. This is another design, so you can really do whatever you want, and if you're not happy with it, just change it. It's not a big deal. It's just a piece of foam. Now I'm going to ink it up really well. So there's just one thing you need to know here is that when you're going to press down, and I'm going to use my squishy mat here underneath, you need to play with this a little bit, because sometimes you need to press a little harder than others. So it depends on how much you've carved. It's like carving into your foam. Maybe don't press too hard the first time to see how it goes. So I've got this flower. I think it's the matching die, yes, or stamp now. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to stamp on my flower. And I didn't put my flower on just a square foam, because I'm afraid that if I press too hard, I would have the outline of my square foam. And there you go. This is my flower, my stamped flower now. And it's completely personal. Nobody's going to have the same. So now that I'm done this, I'm going to use another color of blue, and I'm going to use the same size stamp actually. And if you want to clean them up, that's very simple. You can use a baby wipe or something really not expensive. I'm not crazy about paper towel, because sometimes it leaves some little things, paper things on your stamp, and I don't like that. So I usually either use a rag or use some baby wipes like these, you know, very cheap. And even if they're dried, you can just use water, a little bit on your spray or a rag, and you're just gonna clean it up. You see, it's just like you would do with a normal stamp, actually. So I'm gonna clean this very well, then I'm gonna dry it a little bit. And now I'm gonna go into my other color. Let me see, I'm gonna try to come here a little bit to show you what I'm doing. And I'm just verifying that I've inked up very well my flower up to the edges. And again, and because my flower is cut perfectly, I know exactly where I'm stamping on my flower. There you go. Here you see I've pressed too much maybe, so the print is not exactly the same, or maybe also my stamp was a little bit wet. So depending on how you're going to stamp, the look is going to be a little different. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to use the back of a brush, something quite thin here, and I'm going to curl the petals of one of my flower. So easy to do. And before doing this, maybe make sure that your ink is dry. All right. And for this one, I'm not going to do anything to the petals because that's going to be my bottom layer. So actually, I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to use a stylus. If you don't have a stylus like this, use something that is round. It could be the end of a pen, for example, and that will do the trick. Okay, I just want to have some dimension, and then I'm going to put these petals back on themselves. I'm not going to curl these. And I'm going to use my hot glue, and I need to do this before putting my hot glue. I'm going to curl this one as well. I think I forget that part. The two colors are quite well matching. I don't know if you really see the difference between my two colors here. I didn't put my glue gun a very long time ago, so it's quite thick. Here you go. You've got the second layer. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to take a smaller one, and I'm going to use another stamp. I'm going to clean this one before. So just showing you how I'm doing it here. So this one will be clean for the next stamping. And I don't know if I cleaned this one up, so I'm going to clean it here. If you want to put some double-sided tape on these stamps and use a block, acrylic block to stamp, you could do that as well. Now my paper here is wet, so let me use this paper here. I'm going to use my little rag here to dry it up. And I'm going to go back with my lightest color. Ink it really well. I think it's a little humid, but it's going to work. And press down. And if I'm a little off, I'm not going to be bothered with this. There you go. And I'm going to do this one here with another color. So I'm using different shades of blue here, but I like also the multicolor one. I think I really like it. Probably even more, but it just gives a different look. So this tutorial is really going to be very easy because it's just about stamping, but I wanted to show you how you can have really your own stamps using dies. Because all the dies don't, is that the right one? No, that's not the right one. That's the right size. Yes, that's the right size. Okay. And I missed this spot here. That's fine. And I'm going to use the small one, and I'm going to go back to my other color for the center. I'm going to call this one the center of my flower. And I'm going to show you how I make it. Because the center of your flower can change every time, and it's going to give your flower a different look just by changing the center of it. That's good. And every time now I'm going to do the same thing here for the next layer of petals. And I did only 4 layers. If you want to make more or even 3 layers, that will be fine. So again, I'm helping myself with this little paintbrush. And now here, and I'm going to, this one was actually the lightest, I think. Well, it's the same. I'm going to use this one. That's totally fine. And I'm going to curl it a little bit more because it's going in my center here. So, yes, I'm going to curl it a little bit more. Usually I try to finish it with my fingers. Now a dab of glue. There you go. And every time I'm trying to turn my flower around, so as you can see here, the petals don't overlap each other. So you could leave it as is because I really think it's nice without it putting anything in the center. You could also put maybe a button or a flat pearl or anything else. I'm just going to use this teeny bit here, and as you could see in these examples, I have put the petals like this towards the white piece here, but I'm going to do the opposite, and I am going, no, you know what, I'm going to still do that one here. I'm going to show you this one because I like this one. It looks like a button, like a bud. So I'm going to curl it even more, really, really well. And this is the smallest flower I have here. And then I'm just going to put it together as is. And I don't need to take away any of the petals. Sometimes you need to cut them down. But for this one here, I don't need to. I'm just putting it in shape with my fingers to close it well. And then again, a little bit of hot glue. And just in here in my flower, and there you go. So easy to do this one here. What I have done, and I'm going to show you, I have cut 2 pieces of my flower here. I've cut 2 petals off, otherwise my center was too big, and I've curled them in as well. The same way, and I've overlapped these 2 here. If you want to make even shorter, you can take one off, one more off. So I'm going to put some glue there, and I'm going to overlap these 2, and I'm going to make these petals go in here. Okay, I'm going to scrunch it a little bit. I'm going to flatten the bottom here just like this. And, oops, well, I don't have any flower to put it on, but you could understand where I'm going now with my center. And you can put the flower like this, and it's going to do exactly the same thing. And for what I have done here, it's the same flower as here, the same bud, but I left it a little bit more open. That's the only difference. So you can make a variety of flowers looking very different from one another just by changing the center of it. So there you go. Very simple. I just wanted to show you that with just some dies, you can make your matching stamps. You just need to scribble or draw. It's like carving a little bit, but it's so smooth. And in my last video, I showed you how you could do this with a very fine stylus Well, I have used for this one, I have used a pencil, and I think it's even easier with the pencil because it tends to slide better than this. So give it a try. Just remember one thing: if you're using your pencil in order to draw, make sure it's not too pointy, because otherwise you might go through your foam and rip it and ruin it. So that's a shame. But I do think that the pencil here, for example, that would be great. It's not too pointy. That would be just fine, but it helps because of the graphite. It helps, you know, your carving, and it glides on the, how do you call this? On the fun foam. So give it a try and tell me what you think, what's your best technique between the two. And I really think this technique of doing your own stamps is much cheaper than buying the dies and the stamps. And also sometimes you don't even have the choice, you just have the dies. So there you go. Please give me some thumbs up if you like this video, and leave me your comments about the fact that, have you tried this before, and will you try it? And if you do, I have a Facebook page. You've got the link underneath the video description. So go there and you can post all the pictures that you've done about your flowers or anything else. Just check my Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share on social media. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.